When did you say, hey, I think I could make money doing this shit? Here we go. Today, we are with Kerry Gutierrez, the beautiful Kerry Gutierrez from Marion, Texas, that owns Northen Lattes in Marion. And we're going to get her story of this beautiful little coffee shop that she has in a cute little city just outside of San Antonio. So we're glad to have you, Kerry.
Thank you.
She's slightly nervous.
A little bit.
For no reason. But this is her first podcast. So there's an applause button, but I don't know which one it is. Neither of those. But anyway, I'm glad that your first podcast is with me. They are a lot of fun, and I look forward to hearing your story. How in the world did you decide, number one, Marion? What got you to Marion, Texas?
My son being diagnosed with muscular dystrophy brought me to Marion.
And you thought that would be a good spot for him, the school district? Mm-hmm. Yeah, for those that don't know, tell us about your son, Seth.
He was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy in 2007. And so it is a progressive disease where your muscles turn into fat tissue. So you lose your abilities along the way. So first a wheelchair, your heart, your breathing, all of those things are affected.
But he was walking, talking, running around, happy kid.
He was. Don't you remember his birthday party at one of your business adventures?
And it just slowly kind of takes over. So the point of this is Kerry has not had anything handed to her, nothing easy, and has more challenges than most people for sure. And how has Marion been with all of that?
Really good. It's small. People know each other. So when they see him on the street in his wheelchair, everybody just knows who he is. Mm-hmm. And it makes it more comfortable for him, that environment.
Yeah. How old is Seth now?
24.
Holy moly. Mm-hmm. I think we're just getting old.
We are.
But that's good for him, because I remember hearing all kinds of things. It might be, he might only be 16, and I know he's been a blessing. He's a good kid.
He is.
Well, he's not a kid anymore.
He's not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
He's traveling to Austin, seeing concerts and doing great things with his sister. So he's having fun.
That's
enjoying life.
That's a great. Mm-hmm. So y'all, where did you guys move from?
We were in the Converse area. Mm-hmm. And so we just wanted something smaller, a smaller area, just less people.
And what were you doing when you were in Converse before you started this coffee shop?
I was a stay-at-home mom.
A trophy wife.
Maybe. I don't know about all that.
So what happened? I said so again.
You did.
For people listening, I'm trying to get that out of my vocabulary because I keep hearing it and it drives me nuts.
I did not hear it.
And I almost said it again. What you decided y'all guys are moving to Marion, and what was it in you that said, we ought to have a coffee shop?
I was running a cleaning business. I actually had started cleaning houses.
I remember.
Mm-hmm. And so I had built that business up, but that kind of took me away from Seth and the house. And so I wanted to do something that maybe could involve him. Mm-hmm. It would be close to the house. He could come and go to work with me. And so originally, before I purchased the building that I'm in, I was trying to put the coffee shop in my backyard.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
And her backyard, for obviously nobody knows, but it's really close to the school.
It is.
So you were trying to put it in there goes that so again. You're going to have to throw stuff at me. You were.
Should have brought coffee beans.
You were thinking about putting the coffee shop in the backyard with a drive-through.
No, still wouldn't have had a drive-through.
I feel like I remember this, and you were dealing with the city.
Well, I went to them and asked, and there was that possibility. And then one day I was in the gym with a girlfriend, and we started talking about business, and we started talking about she wanted a boutique, I wanted coffee, and then it was like, the building on the corner is for sale. And we walked over and looked at it, and that just started the process.
Can you take us down the journey of how somebody that was cleaning houses, running a cleaning business with you and your sister and kids, goes about buying or purchasing a building?
First, you have to want it, and then you have to go get it. It's really what it is. So with this particular building, it was a little bit different because it was owned by the school district. So the process is very different than just going to a realtor because it has to go out for bid. So we started in September going to the school district and giving them our ideas and what we wanted to do. And we didn't actually get possession of the building till March 25th the following year.
So that was a 8-month process. And then did they rent you the building or did they sell it to you?
They sold it to me. So at that point, you're in Marion, let's stay local. So we went to Marion State Bank and said, this is our idea. And 11 years in, absolutely love Marion State Bank and that small town relationship.
And when you talk about Marion State Bank, tell us a little bit of the history of your coffee shop.
So the building itself was built in the late 1800s, and it was originally the H.G. Dreyer Club. And the bank moved into the building in 1907.
Marion State Bank
Marion
moved into the
State
building.
Bank moved into the building that I currently have. And interesting enough, back in the day, there was a bar in the front and the bank in the back. And in 1910, I believe, the bank took over the entire building. And they were there until 1986.
I didn't know that they stayed there that long.
They did until they built the building that they're currently in.
I did not know that. Yeah, so Kerry's Northen Lattes is in the old bank building, and it's just a cute little spot. What is in that building still that's left over from the bank? The vault door, right?
Yeah, the vault, which is our storage room, it has the vault door, and our bar counter is actually the original counter that was in there. So when you pulled out the drawers, you had already built in for where all the bills are at.
So the bar counter that y'all have all the pennies on was the original counter at the bank. How cool.
Yeah, it's been there a long time. It has a lot of history. Lots of different things have happened in that building, so it's a good space.
That's a neat spot and a good historical thing to keep going. When you were getting into this building, you decided that you were going to build a coffee shop. You took 8 months to get the building. What happened next with these dreams of a coffee shop?
Next, it was fast. We got to move fast because now we need to make money. So we got the keys on March 25th and we opened on June 16th.
That's very fast.
And the building had sat vacant for 7 years.
What did you know about coffee at this time?
Absolutely nothing.
That you wanted a coffee shop?
I did. I had been doing research, and then actually the 16th birthday party for Seth that we had at your place, I had met the woman that owns Green Coffee House. And I had talked to her at that point because I'd already been doing research about a coffee shop and the equipment and things that it would need. And she donated something for the birthday party that we were having. And she's mentored us. Ever since then, she brought us into her coffee shop, showed us the layout, how she did things. And as we were having things delivered, she came to Northen Lattes and helped us work our equipment.
And that's the lady that owns Green Coffee Shop in Green?
Yes.
Well, man, I'm glad I've been supporting them then.
Yes,
Because I go there
love
a
Kelly.
bunch.
Do you?
Yeah.
I love her.
Some of you guys know about my favorite barbecue place, Burn Bean Barbecue, located in Seguin, Texas. There's been arguments for years about who the best barbecue is, and there's a reason they call them the Pope of Barbecue for a reason. Burn Bean sets the bar in barbecue. They're located in Seguin, Texas. Their line takes about 30 minutes to eat, which is not that long. My favorite thing, of course, is the brisket or the turkey. And then for dessert, you've got to have their peach cobbler with ice cream. Burn Bean Barbecue's in Seguin, Texas, and it's worth the drive and it's worth the wait.
Love her.
Now we go down there and I guess shout out to Green Coffee Shop, which is in Green, Texas. And if nobody's been to Green, it's spelled Grune, which I wonder how people even say that if they don't know that.
I don't know.
But it is another good little coffee shop. And so she's been mentoring you. You had no clue how to make coffee. Did she just come over and start showing you?
We went to her place and spent a day. And then when our equipment was delivered, she came into our shop, helped us with like setup and how to operate. And then we stayed there all night and drank coffee.
Who was working at the shop at this time when y'all first opened?
So when we first opened, it was myself and 3 of my daughters, Ashley, Cleo, and Kay. And when I originally opened, I had a business partner outside of the family. Her name was Megan. There was an accident that took her out of the business. And so then it just moved forward with me and the girls.
And what were the early days of the coffee shop looking like when, did it just take off or was it like, how's this going to work?
It did. We have done well. We are absolutely blessed, but in a small town, it is tough. We did not even begin running payroll for 5 years.
I learned a long time ago that everybody in Marion seems to have 2 or 3 jobs.
They do.
And you were still cleaning houses and doing the coffee shop.
I was.
So it takes a lot of work and effort.
It does.
For sure.
Yes.
And the girls, how have they helped you?
We all have different roles in the business, and we kind of just have divided and conquered and used what we're good at and took off with that. So currently the way that it's structured is we all work. We all still barista. Cleo does a lot of the marketing and some ordering. Kay is running the evenings. And then I'm doing scheduling, bookkeeping. My niece has been there with us now for 4 years. She's helped out a lot and also does some scheduling. And now we've brought on my son, and he's working there. So it's small.
And what are what are some of the challenges of working with your family? And before you answer that, I was talking to Cleo the other day, and I come in there, and she's like, "You just saved me and Mom's life," or something, because y'all are in an argument. Like she said that I got you out of trouble, or vice versa. I don't know what happened, but what have been some of the good things about working with the family and the tough things?
I think the toughest thing is that we're very different people. We're very different individuals. We are currently trying to pick a new paint color. And you should go in right now and see the 5 colors on the wall that we haven't decided. So we are different. So I think that, and we are family. So it makes it a little bit harder because you are going to see them all the time, even if you're not at the shop. But the flip side of that, we do work well together, even though there are these bumps in the road. I'm so close to them. I mean, I'm absolutely blessed. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I work with my kids at the restaurants during the summer, and I really enjoy it. But at the coffee shop, y'all are a lot closer every single day.
We are.
So if you tell, Cleo to do something, or Kay, do they, give you lip and they?
I really don't tell them what to do. And I have encouraged them to have an idea and roll with it. Do it.
That's good. Y'all have such a good little atmosphere though. And you do get you do hear, I don't know what the word is, the smart assery comments and the stuff between you guys. And you could just tell that it's a family deal. And speaking of family stuff, the atmosphere at the coffee shop, tell me what are some of the things beyond the coffee shop that you've liked about Northen Lattes?
I think that I didn't expect it to interact with the community the way that it does. From the kids at the school district that have grown up at the shop and then they leave and they go to college or they enter the military and they always come back.
Oh.
And to hear like the life adventure that they're on and see where they've come, it's something special for sure. And then we have our adult base that comes in and it's just very personal.
Yeah.
It's very personal. You get to know the customer base, you engage with them, and it's a great experience. It just is very home.
It is, and that's one of the things I really like about Northen Lattes. You can always go over there and catch up on your daily dose of Mary and drama. You can go catch up on your daily dose of anything Marion, but y'all have regulars that are there almost every single day.
We do.
And it's just neat to see.
Yeah. Sometimes we're like, if you're leaving town, you need to write it on the calendar. So we know.
Yeah.
Because then you begin to worry. You go to see somebody, you get used to that. And then they're gone for a couple of days. You're like, are they okay? Do we need a well check? Because they're not here.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it is neat to see because you see just a bunch of the same ones all the time. And you guys know everybody's order, you know what they want, and it's a neat spot. What are some of the challenges? I always like that when we're, scrolling the interweb or talking to people, everybody's like, oh, go do a coffee shop. Go do a coffee shop. What are some of the challenges that you've had over the years with the coffee shop?
Well, when we first opened, they did a major road renovation outside of our building. So that was pretty tough. We've gone through COVID. We've experienced a lot, and I laugh with Cleo. I'm like, we are going to be challenged and learn a new way to make a dollar. We've turned into a grocery store during COVID. We started delivering milk, anything that we could get. One thing that was important to us was during that time that we sold everything at cost. People were struggling. It was difficult times. We didn't charge for delivery. So when they would come in and they wanted certain things, milk, paper towel, whatever, things that they were looking for, we would increase the price by 3% to cover our credit card cost.
Yeah. I remember y'all had the little grocery store there.
We did.
Man.
And the crazy thing was when everybody was getting COVID relief, we did not qualify for that because we just chose a different avenue of business to help not ourselves, but the community. And doing that showed increase in revenue and certain things. So, but we made it out here and we're still there.
I know COVID was crazy, and everybody that I've talked to on this podcast has a story of COVID and how they got through it. And I feel like if you got through COVID, you can get through anything. I mean, they just shut the doors on everything.
Yes. We did not one day did we close. And during that time, it was myself and Cleo. And we just ran things and we showed up and we were there every day.
It's wild that COVID was such a wreck for everything. What you guys have been constantly evolving at Northen Lattes. Where'd you get the name Northen Lattes?
Myself and my original business partner were both from the north. So now we have Northern girls opening a coffee shop.
Where are y'all from?
I'm from Illinois and she was from Ohio.
There's the Northen Lattes. What I had another one. What was it?
It's a good one.
Well, y'all are constantly changing
We are.
and evolving.
We
and
are.
so what, as a coffee shop, Take me from the beginning on things that you guys have added that has helped increase business. Kind of the story. I know y'all added ice cream, you added food, but can you walk me through some of those items that you have changed and added? Because it's been a 11-year growth thing, and the coffee shop has just consistently added things.
We have. When we started, it was coffee and pastries, and that was all that we did. But the margins that we were trying to hit, we were not making them exactly with just those items. We started with opening at 5 a.m. and adjusted that. So we've just learned as we've grown.
What did the 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 was there no traffic at that time?
Correct. And we don't have a drive-through. Yeah. And of course that impacts us because people don't seem to like to pull in, get off. We've incorporated online ordering for that. So there's an option. You could just come in and grab and go. It's already ready when you get there. But we ended up doing some sandwiches. Then we brought in smoothies and we brought in ice cream. We turned the ice cream into milkshakes. The ice cream has done really well. We have brought in an energy line of Tiki Energy. We have brought in food items. And our most recent change was extending our hours and adding beer and wine to the menu.
And how has that shaken out? It's been probably, 2 years now?
Yeah,
it
we're
seems
going
like
on
a year,
2 years.
but so y'all added beer and wine.
We did.
And how has that been?
It could always be better. Evenings we have traffic, just not where we want to be yet. But with business, nothing happens overnight.
No, and I don't think you'll ever get to where you want to be. Like the bar just always keeps moving and moving. Sometimes I think I should have stopped just at Beer House in Lubbock. And so it's like, the bar just keeps moving and moving. And when you get, you do hit it good and start making some money as an entrepreneur, you're just like, let's do this and let's do that. And right now, some days I'm kicking myself because we've got a lot going on and I'm going, damn, we need to make some money. We need to do this. And there's just so many balls moving, but I just don't ever see the goalpost stopping. Like the goal just always keeps going. And everybody that I've spoke with so far in here, it's kind of the same thing. I don't know where a happy medium is.
I don't know because you just want to keep growing.
And you always have ideas of even when we talk, you always have ideas of what's next.
Yes. Yes. Because you do, like every time we've incorporated something into the shop, it is to keep moving forward and growing and adding. And so we've tried to look at what the customers want. When we first opened, I was like, we're in Marion, Texas. So Big Red, that's where it's at. It is not. It's Dr. Pepper.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We don't even carry Big Red anymore. So you just don't know until you bring it in and see if that's what your customer base wants.
Yeah, that's a test cycle. And it's interesting because when we put stuff out there, you always have, that's one of my least favorite things that somebody says is, you know what you should do. And I'm sure you heard, you know what you should do, get Big Red. And it ends up being Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
That's kind of the life cycle of a business owner. And man, I get tired. I want to have a thing on here. I was talking to my buddy Ryan that says, you know what you should do. Because as soon as somebody tells me that, my brain just shuts off. I will listen, but most of the time it's like, oh man. And I have this guy that always messages me and he just wants to give me work. And I just text him back, you know what you should do. Like, just leave me alone.
Yes, it's tough. But we actually created a really good menu. So our food menu is great. Kay kind of created the menu that we currently have, and we will sell the heck out of the Reuben sandwiches.
How did y'all create the menu? Did you try stuff, it didn't sell, then you stuff did work, and then you just blended that menu to the stuff that was working? Or how did y'all come up with what you've got right now that's working?
we were working with another small business because as a small business, when we are seeking a new product, we're trying to find somebody similar to us so that we can support that small business. Our baker is been working with us for 8 or 9 years, and it's her and her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, green coffee. She was a school teacher turned into coffee shop owner, small business, her and her daughter, it's family. So we were working with a sandwich shop, but with the change in life, they weren't consistent. There wasn't meat on the sandwich. There, because everybody was trying to cut back to meet the margins they needed for cost.
Mm-hmm.
So with talking to the girls, and then Kay said, I know what we need to do. I know what we need to do. One of the situations, okay, implement it. Have an idea, implement it. I try never to micromanage them. And I want them to invest like I invest into the shop and make changes as we go along and what needs. And Kay was just adamant about it, Ruben.
Oh, she was?
She was. She really was. And so she sat down and priced everything out and looked at everything. And the goal that we had was that every time you come into Northen Lattes, the sandwich will be the same.
Mm-hmm.
So every one of the sandwiches has a quarter pound of meat. That will not change.
Good.
You're going to go out, you're going to feel filled. It's going to be a good sandwich. And so we have sold a lot of those. We have a couple of, spinach dip appetizer or garlic bread. You make one garlic bread and then you make 12.
Oh, really?
Because you could just smell the seasoning and everybody's like, oh, that smells good. So yeah.
What is your favorite thing on the menu at Northen Lattes?
I really like our avocado toast.
I haven't had that yet.
It's super good. We do have brisket and chicken, and we support another small business, somebody local in the town, Smokin' Bros Barbecue. They bring that in, and it's super good. So you can add brisket, chicken, bacon onto that avocado toast if you wanted it, to have the meat option.
That's a fancy avocado toast sandwich.
It's super good.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Don't y'all put those little bagel seed things on there, that seasoning?
Yes, we season it, and we put some vinegar on it and some pico and avocado, and it turned out really good.
I might have had one. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But they're good. So your favorite thing on the menu right now is avocado toast, and then you add something.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about these energy drinks that you have.
They're amazing. They're super amazing. I know you know that because you stop at Northen Lattes.
That I do.
Them.
I don't even know the name of the one I get. I just get the blue drink.
The blue, that's what I drink. But I thought it was early, so that's why I brought you coffee.
It is.
I was like, I don't know if he'd want some tiki energy.
I usually have a Red Bull here. We're trying to make a montage of me opening my Red Bulls, but I'm not feeling Red Bull today.
You don't serve tiki energy or Lotus energy anything at your shop?
Yeah, we have. I think it's all tiki stuff at Paint Rock Coffee, and they've the energy drinks that they have now, probably mostly because of y'all. They come up with some wild creations on these energy drinks, and they're really good.
Mm-hmm. They're a good seller, and it's a good afternoon with the soda in there, the sparkling water.
Mm-hmm.
It's refreshing. It's hot in Texas.
Well, y'all use the HEB soda. Mm-hmm. Is it a sparkling water?
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah, y'all use the HEB sparkling water, which made us use the HEB stuff because it just tastes better.
It does.
Yeah, it's way
really
better.
good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are y'all's major sellers on the energy drinks?
Blue sells the best. That is the go-to. The kids have caught on to this drink, and they actually like to do it with lemonade.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have quite a after-school rush.
We do.
What's that been like?
It's interesting as you see. I feel like we get the kids, and they rotate. So they start coming in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. And then you can tell, like, going into high school, who has friends that drive. You see them at different times. You see them a little bit less. And they go through maybe a period, freshman, sophomore year, and then like junior, senior, then they come back. They're in a different part of life. And so they come in, some are like, are you going to watch me play basketball, Miss Kerry? Are you going to go to the... So I feel like even though I have a senior in high school and he is my season finale, after 7, I'm done. I feel like I'll still be going to some of these things at the high school.
Well, it's such a neat thing to see. And you have, I mean, we could go over hundreds of stories that you have from, but you've also, tell us about the challenges of having these school kids at your coffee shop.
Well, they've sat in class all day and then they come into the shop and there's quite a few of them. So they're loud and they have energy and then they want a tiki energy. So they're, or coffee. There's been some challenges. I'm not going to say they're kids, but they are kids. And so we just have tried to create a space. And I tell them, you have got to come in, even if they're loud, you have to respect the property, respect my employees or the staff or my daughters, and you have to respect each other.
How many times have you had to call parents on students?
Not often.
Good.
I don't even think I ever have.
Good.
I tell them I will love you like my own kid, but I will also reprimand you. And correct your behavior. It's important. Like there's structure. So they know what to expect when they come in. That has never changed. And it's been very consistent. And they know that they have a space that they can come and be with their friends. Safe space, hang out.
You know what I just thought of is that these kids, when they are asked when they're like 25, 30, 35, what they remember about school, they're going to say, we used to go to the coffee shop after school.
They might. That would make me feel good.
I know it's going to be a big part of their life.
Yes.
That's wild to think about. Well, I've already got, I feel like the shop is part of the heartbeat of Marion for sure. And did you expect that going into it, or there was just, because it is so much of the heartbeat of Marion. Did that even cross your mind when you opened?
It did not.
And it just has been. So that's a neat thing. How have we got through all of that? This will be a fun one because, like I mentioned earlier, everybody thinks that you're going to go open a coffee shop and you're going to make $1 million. What would you say to somebody that is wanting to open a coffee shop?
I think that their goals have to be high, but their expectation has to be low. Because anybody who tells you that tomorrow you're going to open a business and become a millionaire, that is just not, that's not how it works. So you have to go in with your idea, but understand that you're building something. And that takes time to build a reputation. It takes time to build your brand and show people that what you have is worth coming in for.
In your coffee shop, you mentioned that it took y'all 5 years to even start getting a paycheck.
It did.
And in my coffee shop, it's taken about the same time. And I'm probably another year from starting to get a paycheck. So, it's not, and you were working another job and doing all this stuff before you started doing it. But what else would you say to somebody, that wanted to open a coffee shop?
I think the idea has to be a little bit bigger than just coffee, because if you're going to have it depends upon the idea. Because if you're going to have a brick and mortar, your expense is so much greater. Your utilities, providing a bathroom, providing toilet paper, all of the things combined are going to be bigger. So your idea has to be a little bit more than just coffee.
And what about location? How important do you think that is?
So important. Very important. I think that in the world we live today, drive-through for something like that is just as important for people to have that convenience. And that's something that we don't have to offer. We couldn't offer that.
If you had to do it all over again and you had a unlimited checkbook, what would you have done? What would you have done with this coffee shop?
I would have tried to restore the building to more of its original, the inside, the drop ceilings that were added. I would have probably done that different. Couldn't have added a drive-through, not with the space that we have. That would have not changed.
Would you suggest to people out there, if they were going to do a coffee shop, that it's almost mandatory that they get a drive-through if they can, or what would your suggestion be?
I do, unless you're in a tourist, like Green Coffee. People are walking. You're in Green, you're walking.
True.
I just went there a couple days ago. You're walking, you're parking, and you're getting out. So I don't think in a tourist area that maybe the drive-through would be necessary. But it's a good addition, I think.
I noticed that y'all's cups in your coffee taste like green coffee, but I never connected the two dots until now.
She's been our roaster, and it's just that relationship. I'm very thankful for her.
Yeah.
We've gotten close over the years. We'll text. I could have a grinder issue, and she's like, "Do you want me to come over?" She's just super supportive.
But y'all have done the same thing for us. We had to have girls come over. We didn't know how to make anything, and so we sent girls to Kerry's coffee shop, and they stayed there for a couple days and learned, and that's part of it. I mean, that's
It is.
The community of the coffee community has been good to us because of you, and then the same with y'all's relationship with Green, and that's I mean, that's been key.
It's important.
So, what else do you have for any comments or suggestions or tips on the coffee shop to open one or run one, or it's just get your boots on and get ready to get to work, buddy?
It's been a good adventure. Like, it's really been a good adventure to do this in the community that we are in. It has not been easy. We are still trying to grow and find different avenues for growth while giving back to the community and being a part of the community. So I just think for anybody, just do your research, and location is super important. And you always have to look at your start date, but also look at where you want to go in the future so that you have that direction.
Yeah, they, if you look back, I always say that if you want some gratitude, look at where you came from and look at the early days of Northen Lattes to where you are now, and you can give yourself a big pat on the back because it's a changed place.
It really has.
And y'all have done good, and the sense of community there is great. Well, what would Kerry tell her 20-year-old self as far as a business, family person? What advice would you give to Miss Kerry at 20 years old?
I think I would like to tell myself to set my goals high. Tell myself that there's nothing in the world that if you want it bad enough, you could do it. You could do it. If you don't take a risk, you will never find the reward.
Right.
And that your attitude is everything. And when you're in customer service, when somebody comes to that counter or to that table, you have no idea sometimes what that engagement's going to be like.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be rough and people are not happy. And I try to stress to the girls, you have no idea what today has brought them or this week has brought them. But more times than not, your attitude will impact theirs.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so important.
Y'all do a really good job in there of, yelling at everybody that walks in the door and yelling at them when they walk out.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like that your advice to someone opening a coffee shop also needs to be that they need to be a psychologist.
Well, I think no matter what your bar top represents,
Yeah.
coffee, beer, wine,
Yeah.
that is part of your job.
You're going to
sometimes.
hear it all.
Yeah.
You hear it all and it doesn't matter where. It can be up in Lubbock or Marion.
It doesn't.
Across that bar table. I feel like the people that cut hair and the bartenders, baristas, they're the ones that get it all.
They do.
We should charge extra for that.
I know. Even the kids, some days they come in, they're like, Miss Kerry. I'm like, oh, I don't think I want to know that.
Yeah.
Some things they say, I'm like, okay, I'm really glad you're comfortable that you can come and have this conversation, but oh my goodness.
Yeah. You guys working for yourself has some advantages and disadvantages for sure. But one thing that you guys do every year is you take your entire family to Disney World.
We do.
What does that mean for you?
Well, this year we are actually not taking that trip, which is unusual, but we spent some time in Colorado so that Seth could experience snow. We put him on a tube and sent him down a hill, and it was snowing like a lot.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, Seth, we're just going to keep going until you tell me you're done. But it was a lot of fun, and it was something different. But I felt that we needed to give him a little bit more experiences. So going on a family trip, we always closed. But I think that time is something that is so valuable that we cannot pay for. We cannot borrow. We never will get that time back.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do with it is important. And I absolutely love family time.
Mm-hmm.
Family time is kind of chaos for us because I do have 7 children.
With attitudes.
They're all different.
Yeah, with attitudes.
September 4th, I'm due to have my 7th grandchild.
Wow.
So we are still growing. And so Colorado, there were 13 of us that went. So we're big. And it's chaos, but it's so much fun. We have a lot of fun. So we would close. As we have grown, and my niece Ella has worked with us now, she would do minimal hours so that we could stay open.
Mm-hmm.
And then recently, the last 2 years, we've brought on employees outside of the family. That's been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That has been a little bit more challenging than working with your kids every day.
Employees can be a challenge.
Yes.
We have a business partner that used to work for Austin PD, and he retired, and now he's working with us full time for maybe 6-8 months now.
Okay.
And he just calls and he just says, "Drama, bro, drama."
It's a lot.
It's always something new, and he's just at one location right now, and it's always a challenge.
It is. You're dealing with a lot of different people and personalities. And I think the biggest thing that I've been trying to stress to them recently is, Cleo hates when I do this because I always use her as an example. But I'm like, if Cleo is not cleaning out the cold brew container, go to Cleo and tell her what's irritating you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to Kay and complain about Cleo. Go straight to the source.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with young people. You're, getting direction, giving them direction, problem solving tips. And we had a meeting about this fairly recent.
And y'all have almost all girls in the coffee shop.
Yes.
Except for your son.
Yes.
That's a whole nother challenge. I didn't know until I had all guys working for me during all the landscape stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 1 or 2 girls. Actually had Miss Ali Rojas working. She just came down to Beer House in Port A, and I saw her last week. But she was a hell of that chick could work. And but I didn't know the differences. Like when you work with all girls, there's always something.
There it is.
It's always something, and I never realized that until the nursery. how interesting that was.
Well, this is probably going to be too much information, so you can edit this.
Yeah.
Have Daniel edit it when we're done. But the thing when you have all of these girls or women working is, for some reason, everybody wants to have their cycles sync.
Yeah.
And so you have a lot of emotion going on all at once.
Yeah.
We talk about this. We just talked about this yesterday at the shop. Me and the girls, and I'm like, you got to take it in stride. So there is a lot going on. I'm really thankful for who we have right now at the shop.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple of employees, and everybody really works well together.
That's good. Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic with the ladies, and I wonder why God did that to us, but He did.
He did.
There's got to be some reason.
There's a reason.
I don't know what it is. Maybe just to mess with y'all. What you've said a few things that I like, but what does that kind of go with this? So I think I know the answer, but what does success to Kerry look like?
That is, it's pulling a paycheck, because I still do not pull a paycheck. I do have the girls and the employees, and everybody pulls a paycheck but me, and I work 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So there's that. But I think that it's more than just the dollar amount at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing better than even hearing your feedback about what we are to the community and the people that come into our shop.
Mm-hmm.
I've always said that I wanted you to walk in a customer and walk out family, like that feeling, and be comfortable coming in. Success is, to me, is hitting my next milestone. Cleo and I talk all the time, and we're trying to grow. We're trying to do something different, more than just what we've already started in Marion, Northen Lattes. And for me, I feel a little restricted with that, because I have Seth, and I want to make sure that I'm close for his needs as well. So success is measured in so many different ways. It's, I think, the growth and the financial of your business, and then also what your business brings.
What is, you talk about Seth, and I think I just had a thought, everybody's kids kind of run off when they're 17, 18. And so I feel like you're blessed to have him around even longer and close to you.
Yes.
Because a lot of them just disappear and they call you once a week. I heard it yesterday on the way back from it. My kids don't call me, blah, blah, blah. When I was flying years ago, I'd come home, and the best part of coming home is my kids were there.
Yes.
They were happy. The wife was maybe happy, maybe not. So you kind of have a blessing with Seth.
I do.
And that's good that he is around. So what is next for Northen Lattes? What do you have cooking? What ideas do you and Wild Cleo have?
We have talked about options for providing drive-through services in the community, which would not be at our current location. We would love to be able to add to what we have at our current location. That's something that we're talking about. This
is real life business. You've been talking about a drive-through location for a few years, and this is not. Again, it's real life. You've been talking about it and working on it, and you just keep hitting these roadblocks.
Yes,
and you've been working on it hard. But what I like is I know that you're going to get this location, because you just don't stop.
No, I don't.
And that's one of the things about being a business owner like you that is good to demonstrate. And I wonder where it will be, but you've had, the wheels have just kept turning and turning and turning and just ka-kink. And I've heard and talked to you on some of these things and some of the offers. I'm like, why won't they take this? Why won't they just? but you're persistent, and the persistence is going to
am.
pay off.
It will. I'm going to figure out where we're landing.
Yeah.
We have a couple ideas, and the girls and I have a couple options that we're going to go and look at. And so hopefully the door that's supposed to open for us is going to open.
It'll be
in
there
the near future.
It'll be there. Well, I appreciate you coming here. I do love Northen Lattes. When I was taking notes on this stuff, I was really thinking about the impact that you guys have had on the community. I feel like it's way more than a coffee shop. It's just a hub for Marion, and that goes all the way from the kids to the parents. You see them all going in there. And it just seems like you've got way more than a coffee shop at Northen Lattes in Marion. And so I appreciate everything you've done. I always have. It's just a welcoming feeling when you walk in there. I've got friends in there that I don't see for years or months or however long it is, and you can always find them. You never know who's going to be bellied up to that counter or what they're yapping about that day. And I think, I like to go in there and cause a little ruckus right when I walk in.
It's always fun when you walk in.
Because I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth or who's going to be there.
Or who you're going to be dating when you leave.
Yeah, no idea. But so I do appreciate you coming here and spending time with us. I can't wait to share your story with everybody. Where can people find you or Northen Lattes on the World Wide Web?
Everywhere. We are on Google. We are on Yelp. We are on Apple Maps. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.
And where is the physical location of Northen Lattes?
Our location is going to be 101 West San Antonio Street in Marion, Texas.
Which is right along FM 78 if you guys are going between Cibolo or San Antonio and Seguin. So it's a good spot, easy to get to. And if you are traveling and you like seeing unique coffee shops, this is definitely one you need to stop by and visit.
Yeah, it's a good place to go and be.
Well, Kerry, I knew we would burn up 1 hour.
It has not.
And we burned up an hour.
No way.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Well, it is crazy that we've talked for an hour because it certainly does not feel like an
No,
hour.
I love it in here. It's it kind of takes you out. I turn my phone off. It kind of takes you away from the day. My stress goes away in here. And I just really enjoy it. And I love hearing people's stories. I love hearing your story. And it's wild because I didn't know what to expect with this podcast at all. And I said I'd do 52 of them as my zero.
Wait, what number am I?
Getting close to 20.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a good number.
Yeah, getting close to 20. But sometimes we do 2 or 3 of them in a week or 2 of them in a day. And so it's been a good experience, and it'd be interesting to see where it goes. If you do go to Northen Lattes because of you heard it on this podcast, tell Kerry. That'd be interesting to see.
Yes.
I'm getting calls from people all over the U.S.
Are you?
Yes, it's insane.
Well, what's really crazy is as I sit here with you at this desk, I think of just the adventure like we've been on since we've been friends. Coming in when you owned the nursery and the beer garden and talking about being in Marion, this small town, and how you make that work. We've known each other a long time. So
and I wonder how long. Kerry lives across the street from the nursery that I own, Schultz Nursery. And it had been there for about 50 years, but they never had concerts there.
And once they did, I did not complain. I never once, well, maybe if the bass, I don't like when that all goes boom.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm like, just kill the bass a little bit.
So poor Kerry lives across the street, and she's like, you're bringing concerts here. And I don't know if she loved it or not. She wasn't yelling at me. And then we start seeing her and her daughter at the concerts, daughters.
Yes.
And that was a good time, the concerts in Marion. And I wonder what would have happened if we didn't sell that place.
It would be great.
It would probably be insane right now.
It would. And there was nothing better than living behind there. And when you had somebody super popular,
Yeah.
and my kids would sit in the driveway till they got off their bus.
Yeah.
And they were so excited.
It would have been interesting because my next step was to close that place up and put a kid-friendly restaurant with the concert.
And that would have just been great.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not there, but I drive by and kind of miss it. So,
Yeah, your vision took you elsewhere.
yeah. Well, anyway, that concludes this beautiful podcast today. Now it's time to get to work.
Yep. Let's go sling some coffee.
That's it.
I can't believe that was an hour.
Yeah.
It did not feel like an hour. Did it feel like an hour to you?
If you're looking for the best Tex-Mex in Lubbock, Texas, look no further than Miguel's. We're located right off of Broadway. In addition to great Mexican food, Miguel's building inside and outside is 100% hand-painted by local artists. So if you're the artsy type and you want to spend a little bit of time and get a meal at a great restaurant, come see what we have at Miguel's. You won't be disappointed.